welcome back everyone, welcome back to the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 94, your weekly dose of Open Cup StarCraft. I'm of course VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players and by the ByuN chats as well. Welcome one all. I do apologize for going live a little bit late. I was struggling to log into Korea, not gonna lie. I was for a good 10 minutes I was just trying to log in, restarting, resetting, could not log in, but we made it. We did make it just in time for the semi-finals or semi-finals. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked. We're jumping into the semis, fresh best of 5. Let's jump in. Let's jump on in. As spawning in the right hand corner of Blackrock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we are jumping into our TVP best of 5 semis. Again, we're jumping in mid-tournaments. As we mentioned before, the semi-finals are currently upon us. We did miss out on the quarterfinals before this, so I do apologize. But again, we're just having some connectivity issues, having a hard time logging in. We've made it. But we have made it. We're here, we are back, and coming into this matchup here, it's going to be an interesting dynamic, of course. I would say that currently in TVP we're expecting a lot of aggression in the early game from Protoss players. This time we do not open up with a proxy. We've been seeing a lot of proxy shenanigans out of herO as of late, and we do see a double gas opener. So ByuN is aware, right? ByuN is aware of the threat of early game aggression, so ByuN does play safe, does go for a double gas opener. Meanwhile, herO opens up with a gateway back at home, no proxy. So I would say when it comes to the early game openers, herO has kind of mind gamed ByuN a little bit here, and herO is in a slightly better position as ByuN did go from more tech heavy starts, but we'll see what ByuN can make, what he can make with this, of course. With a faster factory, you can go into Reaper Hellion aggression, we can go into, say, early Banshee play, Widowmine drop play as well. We do have a plethora of builds available here for ByuN. We'll see what kind of road he does walk down. But otherwise, bienvenidos. Este Babylings in the chat. I see Babylings, Cyberjohn as well. Bienvenidos. Good morning, papi, good morning. Oh, hi. So it's been an intense morning. I woke up. I stepped out into the living room to find Chi our bunny. She was sitting on top of the couch, outside of her enclosure, just staring me down. What are you doing? She ran back inside. She got caught. God, este Chi. But yeah, so the morning, so we have to secure the enclosure even more. Oh my god, I have to like order some more panels, make it a little bit higher. Looks like Chi she ate, they finished eating all their food early today, and then they wanted more food. They demanded more. Este Chi. Yeah, it was an intense morning. But for now we're settling in. We're settling into our initial opener here. So far, just a regular gate expand, gate cyber expand out of herO. Nothing crazy. Racks into factory. As I mentioned previously, because of the double gas opener, we do have a faster factory. It leads into Reaper Hellion aggression. There is a chance for ByuN to now get damage done. He can go Reapers into the main base, Hellions into the natural, and try to pull apart herO. herO is just now going for hallucination scouts, and herO blindly did go for a safety battery in the mineral line, so his natural base is safe. There's no battery in the main base, bear that in mind, so there is an opening to get some damage done here in the main. For now, ByuN does rally towards that natural. We'll see if we can get any probe kills. We'll see if the workers do line up. Again, ByuN is committed. We're going for the dive. Oh, does get a volley up, and we'll get 2. Now 1, 2 probes going to be going down. Do we get 3? We do. Yeah, 3 probe kills. The Stalkers, they will eventually clean this up, but not without losing more workers here. 5 probes to go down. 6 probe kills. Oh my god, okay. So 6 probe kills, not bad. At the same time, remember, there's no battery in the main. Yeah, there's no battery in the main base, so even more damage as we're getting into 7 kills, up to 8, 9, 10. Oh god, one more shot. Yeah, gets one more volley. Final shot towards the end there. 9 probes do go down. Heavy losses for herO. Remember, herO had the more economic start. He was ahead. It was on ByuN to get damage done, and he did. Lack of SimCity here at the natural base. Did have the battery in position, that is true, but there was no battery in the main base. In the end, 9 probe kills for only 2 Hellions and 3 Reapers. That is a better trade for ByuN. It's better. Meanwhile, looks like Hallucination did eat the mine shots. herO's going for the counterattack, and back at home, what do we have to defend? Vanilla Marines. Yeah, so far, Vanilla Marines. The Banshee's almost out. Until then, though, nice big offs. Getting 1, 2 SCV kills. Very nice. Getting up to 3. herO has to respect the Marines. Uh-oh. Does have to be careful. Wooderman gets caught. Tank is now on the high ground, and ooh, ByuN even sniping that 1 Stalker. It does get the 1. Nice pick up. Catching another Stalker towards the end. So ByuN is trading well. Has sustained some losses, but overall this is still a better defense here for ByuN, and he is settling into a stronger early to mid game, building up his own bio tank. Meanwhile, the Banshees, I believe, have been unscouted. herO did not get into the main base, but he did see some of the production setup. He kind of assumed the Banshee play could be coming. The first Banshee does get across the map. There is detection and a battery. Yeah, there is a battery back at home. So here his mineral lines are safe. The Banshees have not paid for themselves, not yet, but they are still alive. There's still 2 Banshees, and remember, 2 Banshees, they one-shot probes. So even if there's a battery, even if there are Stalkers in position, damage can still be dealt. As herO has eyes on the Banshee. herO should also get eyes on the second Banshee now coming in. Okay, here's now aware. Racing back over. herO, he does have blink. Just a handful of Stalkers. So far is in position. And so far, so good. Again, herO is still recovering from the earlier losses here, working towards charge, getting towards own Robo. Bay is now done, working towards Colossus. And on the flip side, ByuN is also working towards the sim timing. So here we're still trying to recover. ByuN building up towards stim, combat shields. This is still a pretty standard setup here in the sense that ByuN can still afford a 3rd CC, especially now that it's cheaper, of course. So we're still expecting ByuN to expand behind the move out. For now, the game is just calming down. We're just calming things down. Now, talking about Blackrock, we didn't really get to discuss the map itself, but when it comes to Blackrock, we do see that Blackrock has a very open very open and accessible 3rd base, and 4th base as well. The idea of turtling and defending on a low base count is very difficult here on Blackrock. This goes both ways, of course, so it depends on who has momentum. At the moment, ByuN has momentum. ByuN has kind of a lead and has that advantage in this game, so far at least. It's going to be up to herO to defend, to survive, and to get back into this. As ByuN is about to push. He's got 2 tanks, decent Marauder count, a couple of mines. You can see as he pushes, now claims a 3rd. Now, thankfully, the army gets spotted, so herO is aware of what's coming his way. Scan does reveal the main army is where the Colossus. ByuN does pre-siege. And can he bait the army in? Oh. Not quite. Yeah, herO pulls away. Stalker still in position to defend the main. herO playing it safe. Claiming a 4th. ByuN should stop these bases from getting up and running, but ByuN is he's still waiting for his reinforcements. Yeah, still waiting. Again, he was hoping he could catch his opponents with this trap. herO spots the army. Now he reveals that he does have the Observer, and ByuN backs off. Yeah, he just completely backs off, does disengage. I will say that this positioning, the positioning from ByuN, unfortunately, was a little bit lacking in the sense that he didn't check for the 4th. He totally could have forced a cancel. Could have forced cancel, could have denied. So ByuN does miss this. herO is recovering in this game. He's recovering. Would you have the Dark Shrine on the way? See in here, perks in, does pull back. Again, both just stabilizing. We do see at this point ByuN is also turtling up as well, build up his Viking counts. When it comes to splash damage, we have yet to really transition into disruptors. We're kind of waiting for either Storm or disruptors. Right now it's just purely Gateway Army and Colossus. But you can see the momentum now shift in favor of herO. herO, he was in danger when it came to his third location, but now he's gained map control. Now he got away with his fourth base. Now he's maxed out. ByuN has relinquished that map control, stuck at home, and at this point it looks like ByuN is going to try to turtle until Ghosts. Just turtle up, wait until Ghosts. The advantage that ByuN once had isn't really there anymore. Likewise, herO needs a little bit more time. Ideally, herO wants to wait for ByuN to get a fourth base. Just wait for the fourth base to be thrown down, and then ByuN is going to be spread thin. We can see ByuN fully walling off, knocking down the rocks. herO throwing down 2 more robos, so it looks like it is going to be disruptors. As ByuN has plenty of Vikings. See a massive Zealot Army on the right hand side. herO poking in. Looking for an opening. As here he attempts to distract. And Zealots are pushing forward. Oh, here he cannot fight head on. Again, just trying to distract. Zealots do dive in. They do get the tanks. Yeah, 1, 2 tanks going to be going down. Not bad. Doesn't quite get a Ghost. Just 2 tanks, backs off, takes down the sensor tower. These are some okay pickups, but once he gets caught out, hero's not paying attention. 1, 2, 3 Colossus are going to be falling. Massive losses here for herO, losing every single Colossus. And the Stalkers, they have no support. Yeah, they have no support. So herO, he plummets 50 supply. Zealots are coming from behind, they're late. And again, as you mentioned, herO could never fight head on here. The Colossus was just meant to be distraction, but herO had a late reaction. He had a late response. And if ByuN were to claim a fourth base, this would be the time to do so. I say that. herO warping in, applying more pressure. They're forcing the land. And there isn't really that much on the ground here. Yeah, there's not that much on the ground. Reinforcements on the right hand side, and if herO keeps warping in, he might break ByuN. Again, herO, he has 2,000 minerals. He has 2,000 minerals in the bank. You can see he's now warping in 14 Zealots at a time. If we can just keep hammering down ByuN, there's a chance here that herO might break through. He's rebuilding Colossus. The Viking count is now lower. It is messy from herO, but this can still work. You can see just massive warp-ins. herO needs to stop this fourth base. And just through sheer production and economy, even with bad fights, and herO did take bad fights, by the way, even with that, he's breaking through. like he's still just overwhelming, just brute forcing his way through ByuN. Blinks on forward, and herO, he's done it. herO, he has done it. Picks up all the Marauders, the Marines, the Ghosts as well. GG gets called, and herO takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, ByuN, he had a lot of momentum and control at the beginning of the game, but as you mentioned, ByuN did not threaten the fourth base. The fourth base got up and running, and ByuN missed it. Otherwise, he 100% could have fought for it, and again, denied that fourth base. Once herO got his fourth fully operational up and running, then it became that much easier for herO to gain map control, max out, and strike. We did mention previously at the beginning of this map how Blackrock has very exposed third and fourth bases. There's no high ground, there's no natural choke point, so it's harder to be defensive. And ByuN, he chose to be more defensive, right? He was not very active, he was not very aggressive. After the first push, he backed off. After the first push, he backed off, and in the end, ByuN, he chose to try to turtle up and perfect his army. And he did take a better fight, that is true. He dominated those Colossus, for example. He did take a much better fight, but we also did see that that he wasn't able to sustain those losses. In the end, herO chipped away at the army. Chipped away, broke through, GG. As I mentioned, kind of like a brute force style, where he just like smashed his face against the wall, and eventually the wall did break. It's crazy. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into the Old Sun Temple. Going to be loading into game number 2, this time a 4-player spawn map. Your gateway rover works 95% of the time. Once again, I would push back against that, talking about how specifically on Blackrock it is more difficult to defend, which is how we started the game. We started the game talking about how difficult it is to defend and turtle up. There are other maps where it is easier to do so. So it's a little bit more map dependent, which is why we expected ByuN to be more aggressive, and he wasn't. Right? Like play styles are kind of dictated by the map, and certain styles are stronger, weaker, depending on that. Speaking of, we're loading into the Old Sun Temple, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of the Old Sun Temple, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. Leading the series 1-0, it is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. Now, speaking of aggression, we do have some RNG coming to play here. Welcome to the Old Sun Temple. Now, when it comes to this map, depending on spawn locations, longer, later games could be more favored, otherwise more aggressive ones instead, and herO finds ByuN immediately. Welcome to a 4-player spawn map, and we have landed ourselves with close spawns. Horizontal close spawns here between herO and ByuN. This means that we have a very, very short rush distance by ground. It takes seconds to get across the map. I want to say the rush distance by ground from corner to corner, I think, is shorter than Rorschach. Which is otherwise the shortest rush distance map in the map pool. So very short rush distance, aggression is heavily favored. We see a lot of 2-base all-ins on Old Sun Temple, a lot of 3-base all-ins as well. So we're expecting that kind of play here. But if you remember, I also expected more aggression out of ByuN on Blackrock, but ByuN did decide to back off and turtle up, which I was opposed to, and I'm feeling the same here as well. For now, double gas opener, more tech heavy. ByuN once again is opening up safe. Remember, last game ByuN took a lead. He killed 9 probes at the beginning of the game. Like, ByuN was straight up ahead, he had momentum, then he chose to back off and to turtle up. This time we'll see if he doubles down on Reaper Hellion again, or if he leads somewhere else. If he leads us somewhere different. Meanwhile, at least herO's aware. Now, when it comes to herO's style here, and when it comes to the current spawns, we're expecting more defensive play out of herO. We're expecting a delayed third base and maybe a stronger and earlier tech, like an earlier bay on 2 bases, maybe a faster forge. We could try to cut some corners earlier on just to be more robust on 2 bases. We'll keep an eye on herO. As ByuN picks in, pulls away. And once again, we are doubling down on Reaper Heli. So once again, an aggressive start here by ByuN. Last game he killed 9 probes. We'll see if he can achieve that success again. Now, last game we saw that herO, he was lacking SimCity here, which is why the Reaper Heli just walked into the natural. This time, I'm hoping that we can throw down some buildings here. For now, it's going to be the the Twilight Council in the main base, or Twilight Council opener out of herO. ByuN did find hero's spawn location. And here comes ByuN. Let's run it back. He's moving out once again. See here, he does begin the wall. But ByuN has already arrived. He can rush past. Ooh, he doesn't though. It doesn't move through. There is that sentry. No force field. ByuN, he does not risk it. And this time here is defending well. Depends, he deflects behind this. That is a very early tank out of ByuN. Interesting. Very early tank. Remember last game? Oh, and I see a second Rax. We're gonna go for a third Rax. If we see a third Rax, it's a 2-base all in. So again, hyper aggression here by ByuN. Last game he went for a 1-1-1 into Cloak Banshee. This time, yep, there it is. Third Rax, 2-base all in. So ByuN is going to double down, and again, this is to be expected, right? This is very standard on this map because of the close spawns. This is why we expect safer play out of herO. And we can see 2-gate blink into a robo on 2 bases, even taking gases as well. So we had assumed that herO would be going for a delayed third, and herO is going for a delayed third base, which makes sense. Like you need to respect the spawn locations, you have to respect the aggression, you need to play it safe. As it's very easy to fall to aggression here on Old Sun Temple. Yep, there it is. Bay on 2 bases, which we had also assumed, but we're going one step further. So in my mind, I thought we were going to go for the Robo, the Bay on 2 bases into early Colossus, but we're going for 2 more gates as well. So it's going to be a 4-gate setup here on 2 bases and early Colossus as well, all before the 3rd expansion. So very safe play here by herO. The downside is that herO is going to have a delayed 3rd and a delayed economy coming into the mid game, but if ByuN is going to be hyper aggressive, then this is worth it. Now, I should add something here. We had the 3 axes before starport. This is very aggressive. I assumed that it was going to be a 2-base all-in, but the starport tells us that it is going to be an aggressive timing. That is true, but ByuN can expand behind this. Usually the 2-base all-in variations are without the medevac production, without the starport, but the starport is being made for the add-on assault for medevacs. herO does spot this, does confirm, and herO needs to see how dedicated this is. This is going to be hitting with +1. The all-in variation of this, you just pull the boys. You build up into +1, stim, combat shields, and you pull the boys, you just send it. But again, because of the starports, ByuN may expand. As when ByuN breaks out, there is going to be that first Colossus. Again, just as a reminder, the Colossus production here is very early, earlier than normal because of the early Bay. Before the 3rd. Here comes the push. Spotted by the Observer. Oh, the Observer gets caught! Ah, it was revealed. Here comes ByuN. Reaper Hellion distracting. herO should be aware that an army's coming, as he knows that the Observer got sniped. Right now, he will clean up the Reaper Hellion, but here comes ByuN. Yeah, just stimming across the map, pushing on top of the ramp. herO's on low ground. Ah, he's out of position. Yeah, herO's out of position. Not attentive. He depowers! Depowers the Robo 1 second away from the Colossus going down. The tanks take shield up. Colossus exposed, and with that, that's going to be enough. That's going to be too much here. ByuN, he snowballs out of control. He crushes the production, crushes the Colossus as well. The Robo will not finish. It will not pop out. The Colossus. That should not pump. Yeah, Sorgs gets surrounded. Heavy losses for herO. And again, herO, he was completely out of position, distracted by the Reaper Hellion. GG gets called, and we are going to game number 3. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, aggression and these pushes and these 2-base all-ins, they hit very, very hard here on the Old Sun Temple. herO did go for a very safe build. That is true. The build was sound for herO, but the execution was lacking. herO, his main army was completely distracted by the Reaper Hellion, dragged all the way to the right-hand side, so herO completely out of position. On top of that, the Colossus was left on the low ground, so he wasn't able to react and respond. He had to push up into the high ground, up the ramp, into the tanks, into the army. So again, completely out of position. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 3. Going to be loading into Sanctuary 3. Let's go. Let us go. But again, this was a very map-specific build. ByuN dedicated on 2 bases. herO tried to be safe, but again, herO should have noticed that his observer was sniped. The moment that observer was killed, herO needs to back off. Needs to retreat with his main army, race back home to defend. But he didn't really respect the idea of a push coming, and yeah, the pants were down. The pants were completely down, and now we're getting into game number 3. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of Sanctuary 3, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Let's go. Let us go, and welcome one all to Sanctuary 3. So we did speak about how the Old Sun Temple favors 2 base all-ins, and hey, we saw that at ByuN. Meanwhile, Sanctuary 3 does not. Welcome to a very interesting map here that does have a ramp coming into the natural. So this, I want to say there's 2 other maps like this in the map pool, but a high ground natural base like this is very secure. It's very safe and very secure. Defending on 2 bases is easier on this map than the other maps we've featured here so far, like the Old Sun Temple. So much easier to defend. The rush distance by ground is decent. I will say that the distance between this 3rd base and this 3rd base is pretty short and pretty direct. As you can see here, it's one main path right through the center. There's no point of elevation to slow you down, but we do have slow zones. Like, slow zones are a factor here. We have a very narrow choke point as well, and you can also knock down these towers and seal this area off. Now, because of these features and because of these factors, if you can scout a push coming, if you can see something committed coming your way, you can engage ahead of time and make use of the slow zones in your favor, or you can even seal this area off as well to buy more time. So there are ways to like slow down a push and engage and try to flank an army as well. There are ways to do so. As a result, we have typically seen a lot more mid-game on Sanctuary 3. A lot of mid-game, a lot of mid to late game. We have seen players secure like a proper 4 base economy more frequently. So we've yet to really experience any kind of like back and forth. Technically on Blackrock, the players did max out, but it was very different. On Blackrock, ByuN he just completely gave up any kind of semblance of map control, and herO was able to just fully max out and just hammer his way home in that first game. Here, there should be a different dynamic. For now, already, for the first time this series, single gas opener out of ByuN, going for a command center before the factory. So this is the most economic build that we've seen so far in this series, but it makes sense because of the map, right? We mentioned that compared to Blackrock, compared to Old Sun Temple, because of the high ground here, you're very safe on 2 bases, so just fast CC. So we're going to calm things down, we're going to settle in. Alright, settling in. Oh, we're going for a very early forge. Okay. Talk about greed. I mean, we just mentioned that again, mid game and mid to late game is a little more common on Sanctuary 3, so very early forge. What does this mean? We're going for an early forge, we're going for a late Twilight Council, so late blink, late charge in favor of a head start on upgrades. This is greedy. This is quite greedy here, but here is assuming that ByuN won't be aggressive anytime soon. Likewise, even going for the Robo as well, for the early Bay, for early Colossus production. Again, we're going to be lacking Blink Stalkers, lacking Zealots, lacking Gateways. We're going to be lacking a robust Gateway composition. That's true, but we're going to have faster tech. So this is quite greedy here from herO. He should get away with it. ByuN is setting up for a mine drop. From here, herO should be taking a 3rd base, I would imagine. Good minds. I see in the YouTube chat, what's the other semifinals? The other semis is Solar versus Cure. They're currently ongoing. Specifically for PiGosaur, sorry, depending on the tournament, they have different rules. For Sparkling Tuna Cup, for example, we cast one semifinals, then the other. For Wardy TV Monday as well, we cover one semis, then the other. For PiGosaur Cup, they happen at the same time. So both semifinals are occurring concurrently. It's herO versus ByuN and Solar versus Cure. Meanwhile, we're just still doubling down on tech, so we're going for the Bay on 2 bases into Twilight Council. The Wooden Mine does get shut down. Very nice pickup. There's 1 mine left. herO should pull away. Oh, Jesus. We'll lose 1 probe. And again, so far, herO's holding well. Minimal losses. Gets away with all this tech. Now rushing into +1 carapace. Sorry, +1 armor. There's that third. And again, this is all off of only 2 gateways. Only 2 gateways. No warp gates. Just Forge, Robo, Bay, Twilight Council, then a 3rd base. So again, very, very greedy tech-wise. Can ByuN punish that greed? He has potential with this move out. This is pre-Stim. Remember, Stim just finished, but this is very ByuN-esque. He's going for the ByuN. What is the ByuN? ByuN is known for this, where he pushes before his upgrades. Technically, this is going to be weaker because he does not have Stim, but the goal here is to catch his opponent unawares and unprepared. And herO, because of the corners he's been cutting, and because he has no upgrades here whatsoever except for +1, he might be forced to cancel. Yeah. ByuN rocks up, Stimless Marines, he moves in, and he's going to force cancel, and it looks like he will. Yeah, the Nexus is getting low. Very nice punish out of ByuN, does force a cancellation. Now, ByuN cannot fight head-on, fun fact. The Colossus will have his way with these vanilla Marines. ByuN has to get out of here. He can't stick around too long. Oh my god. He wants the Observer. And ByuN needs to leave. Can he get out? Oh my god. Whew. Yeah, we'll boost away. Remember, there is no blink. And this was very worth it here for ByuN. So ByuN, he denies the 3rd expansion. Massive delay. He races back home. herO's going to try to punish, but ByuN should get back to the high ground. And he does. He's got his 3 tanks. Stim will now finish in time for the main engagement. Tanks are pre-sieged. And herO, I mean, the pressure's on. Like, herO needs to do something here. That's the reality. He can try to slip into the natural. Yeah, tanks are a little bit too far back. Tanks are too far back. 1 deeper goes down. Army sims in. Can he get the Colossus? Jeez, okay. Great that though. Be careful. Yeah, we have 4 tanks and we're pushing into 4 pre-siege tanks. Oh god, we're gonna lose 1, gonna lose 2. Both Colossus goes down. And this is not worth it. This is not worth it. Again, herO, he pushed into a concave of tanks. He will lose everything. The entire army goes down. herO being very wasteful here. This was not the fight to take. herO kills only 1 tank. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, herO misjudging the strength of his army. You gotta respect the tanks, Pappy. And ByuN is miles ahead. ByuN is ahead when it comes to the 3rd base. He's ahead when it comes to the army. He's got his upgrades. And herO, in the end, his greed wasn't worth it. He failed to save his 3rd. His economy is lackluster. He's down in workers. He has a late expansion. His Colossus count was reset. He took a bad fight. And here comes ByuN. Now, if you remember, ByuN also was in a good position in game 1 on Blackrock. Then he backed off and he allowed herO to recover. This game, I appreciate that ByuN is not backing off. ByuN is not backing off. He's pressing his advantage. Does move in. Tanks are a little bit far back. Yeah, they're a little bit far back. Looks like one of them is within range of the Nexus. At the same time, Zelarambai does get into the natural, distracting ByuN. Tanks are slowly moving in. This is giving herO some time. Yeah, the tank is still out of range. So a very tame position here for ByuN. There we go, the army does move in. Massive tank shot's going to be going up. Tank shots on the Immortals. Sorry, on the Colossus. And ByuN should have enough. Yeah, ByuN does have enough. He sims on forward, breaks on through, takes down all 3 Colossus, and with that ByuN, he snowballs out of control. Zelda coming from behind, they clean up the tank, but these are still some rough losses here for herO, losing all of his robo units. So once again, a very messy defense out of herO, but he does save the expansion, just barely. As we mentioned before, if those tanks were a little bit more aggressive here, I feel like we could have gone the expansion. But ByuN backs up, still has a lead. And here he's struggling to keep his head above water. Right now, herO has 0 splash damage, 0 Colossus, no Storm, no Disruptors. He has 1 Immortal. And ByuN, he has no Ghosts yet, but he does have the Academy. Yeah, the Academy is complete. If we had a couple of Ghosts, I feel like ByuN could push. This Gateway army is very susceptible to EMPs. It's a very fragile army. But ByuN is being somewhat active here. Uh-oh. As ByuN moves out, herO moves in. You can hear herO warping in as well. Pushing towards the 3rd base. ByuN out of position. Forced to pick up. Yeah, a bit of a panic moment here by ByuN. Does try to come in from behind. And ByuN, he will clean this up, but not without losing SCVs. Yeah, massive damage here at the 3rd base. Again, ByuN out of position. 15 SCVs going down. The economy was just abandoned. Nice recall. And herO, he's catching back up. Here he's catching back up. 19 SCVs. herO now evening up the worker count. That was a lot of economic damage. And that's enough to even up. To even things up. As here you can see he's setting up for another Zealot run by. These Zealots can be very cost efficient. Defending on the right hand side. 4th base now being thrown down. And again, if ByuN is too passive here, herO will recover. So herO's back in this game. He shouldn't be, but he is. Oh, as ideally with these Zealots, you want to wait for ByuN to push. So here he showed his hand, right? He just showed his hand. Now ByuN mentally, in the back of his mind, he knows to keep supply. Yep, he knows to keep supply back at home. I like that herO races all the way back home with this. He knows that now ByuN is aware of a threat of a run by, so herO is not in position for one. And this means that ByuN has some dead supply here. But now he has a planetary. Yeah, now he has a planetary. herO is now rebuilding his Colossus count. ByuN, he only has a handful of Vikings, right? Yeah, only 5. Only 5 Vikings. Okay, trying to be active. Does an AP. AP lands, Prism gets hunted down, but the Colossus are coming. And ByuN is pushing quite far in. Here he can punish, he blinks forward. Does catch out a couple of Marauders. The Vikings, they just go to town, they get 1 Colossus, but only 1. No, he doesn't get it. Oh my god. Again, only 5 Vikings. And ByuN is punished. ByuN is punished. Here he's snowballing out of control. He punches the main army. He's going across the map, chasing down the Bio. Here he saved both Colossus. He saved the Colossus. And again, ByuN had a massive lead in this game, but he was caught out of position when it mattered most. On top of that, we saw that he was very tame when it came to his tank positions. He failed to break the 3rd base, where otherwise there was a possibility where he could have. He lost 19 SCVs as he failed to defend. And herO, can he go all the way? Oh, the Colossus does extend, losing 1. 1 Colossus goes down, we'll lose the other as well. herO trying to rush forward. Messy engaged by herO. Yeah, very messy. As here he has to respect the army. Losing another Immortal. Zealots lose another. You can see herO trying to warp in, trying to reinforce. Zealots on the right hand side. Colossus moves in. with that, here he commits. And he overwhelms. So he's going to kill the expansion, getting on top of the ghosts. Heavy pickups here. The ghosts are going down. And breaks through the coast. Once again, we'll lose the Colossus, but it's fine. Like, the Gateway Army here is excelling. And diving on the Marauders. GG gets called, and herO, he'll take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. Here he will take a lead in the series. Once again, winding it back. If you remember, ByuN had a massive lead, had a massive advantage, but he was being a little bit tame when it came to his tank positioning, and he was caught out of position when it came to the counterattack. herO was miles behind, but if you remember, because ByuN was halfway across the map, because he was out of position, herO got into the mineral line. When he pushed across the map, he killed 19 SCVs. That should never have happened, and that was enough to equalize the economy. That was enough for herO to drag himself back into the game, of course, and then rebuild and remax, right? So we spoke about how he saved the third that should have gone down. That allowed him to get a fourth base, to build up his economy once again, and to overwhelm. GG. GG, well played. So we're getting into game number 4. herO's upgrade saved him, kind of. Bearing in mind that herO's build this game was Forge first, so that gave him an upgrade advantage. It took a long time for that to kick in, but it did towards the end, right? He had 3-3 at the very end of the game. That's because of the very fast +1 from the beginning of the game. That did kind of carry him through the course of the game itself. That wasn't what saved him this game. What saved him was, again, ByuN being caught with his pants down and out of position, but that did help when it came to the final fights. That did help when it came to, specifically, I would say the final fight outside of the fourth base of herO, where that was like a stronger engage from herO. That is true. But again, a lot of it also was ByuN losing his lead earlier on. And that allowed for the upgrades to kick in, right? That allowed for herO to start working on 2-2 and then eventually 3-3. But here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Rainfall, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing T1, leading the series 2-1 in this best of 5. And can he claim it here and now for T1? It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Terran player. The Blue Terran player himself representing Shopify. Down in the series, can he bring it back and force the ace match? It is ByuN. Here we go. Here we go. As ByuN does open up across the map. Yeah, it does open up with a proxy. Hiding the SCV here on the top side. Let's go. Let us go. As we're setting up outside of the main base. Oh wait, sorry, we're just going for the eBay block. In my mind, I just assumed that we're setting up like a proxy racks here outside of the natural, but I'm just going for the eBay block. Trying to force the unnatural. Now you can see herO hides the probe. He wants this eBay to be cancelled, but ByuN should maintain his position here. Yep, checking with the third base. Here. Yeah, here he was hoping that maybe there'd be a cancellation. It does make the Zealots, does move in. And herO, he will refuse to expand at the unnatural natural, which makes sense. We are on Rainfall. Welcome all to Rainfall. Rainfall is a very small map of the map pool. Shore Rush is by ground. This is a slightly larger map compared to Rorschach. That is true, but aggression is still heavily favored. Imagine what we said about the Old Sun Temple. It's very similar here, where all-ins are favored. Why is that? Well, we have low ground third bases. You have a low ground third base at the triangular location and a low ground third base here at the linear location as well. These third bases are very difficult to defend. Very, very difficult to maintain. Especially with the high ground in between the bases. So a main push, say like a 2-base tank all-in, can siege up on top of the high ground and just outposition the Protoss. If you remember, that happened on the Old Sun Temple, when ByuN sieged up in between in between the natural and the third. So we're expecting something more aggressive here from ByuN. He does go for the high ground CC. Command center is safe against the Zealots. And this is risky. Stargate Opener. So Stargate Openers, they're mixed in every now and then. They're a way to get some damage done across the map. We're expecting this to be an Oracle based opener to kill some workers, to harass, to scout as well. The scary thing here is that Stargate Openers, they typically don't really help too much when it comes to defending against 2 base all-ins. This is a very it does leave you a little bit vulnerable early on compared to Blink. Thankfully for herO, ByuN is going for a Widowmine drop. 1-1-1. So 1-1-1 opener here by ByuN. herO should be safe. So he pokes in, delays the expansion. Is going Phoenix first. You can see he's banking back at home. Did herO see the main? Not quite. But he did notice the mines. So this will completely hard counter a mine drop, assuming that we keep the Phoenixes back at home. Yeah, here comes a mine drop. These Widow mines should not do any damage. Shouldn't do damage. Those move in. And boosting into the main. Phoenixes are revealed. Midevac's going to be shut down. And we should lift the mines. Lifts 1, lifts 2. Yeah, we go. Nice lift. Cleans up the mines, cleans up the Medevacs. And again, he just completely shuts down ByuN. And ByuN's had a very rough start. Very, very shaky start here. Phoenixes, they can now move out across the map. They can harass. They can contain ByuN. And ByuN does rush into a 3rd CC. Ooh. So ByuN knows he's behind. This is his way to recover in this game. So we're rushing into a 3rd base. ByuN is trying to be greedy. We'll see if he can. Phoenixes, they should be able to contain ByuN and make sure there's no drop play, and this will allow herO to expand. Claim a 3rd. Claim a 3rd base. Twilight Council into charge. Probe up, saturate. I am concerned for ByuN. We mentioned this on BlackRock, if you remember, how BlackRock, ByuN did decide to try to build up and try to turtle up into a longer game. And we spoke how on BlackRock it's very difficult to defend on 4 bases. Well, how do we open up to Rainfall? This map here, it's also very difficult to defend and to turtle up on 4 bases. So the idea of ByuN rushing into a 3rd CC, going double eBay, double upgrades, and trying to turtle up back at home, it seems like a difficult feat to accomplish here. It's going to be rough for ByuN. If he's not active. If he's not active, if he fails to be active, if he fails to be aggressive, then it's going to be a rough game. Solo versus Cure next semifinals. We already answered the question earlier about the semis. It's Solo versus Cure, and we also emphasized that the PiGosaur Cup is a very different tournament to our regular events. Sparkling Tuna Cup, for example, we cast one semifinals than the other. For PiGosaur Cup, the way that it's organized, both semifinals happen at the same time, not one after the other. So Solo versus Cure is currently ongoing as we speak, at the same time as this series. Mentioned it earlier. Mentioned it again. There is a chance we might be able to catch the tail ends. Like, if this series finishes first, we might catch, like, a Game 4 or a Game 5 of Solo versus Cure. We might be able to. But, it is happening at the same time. Oh! Does get a Phoenix. Not bad. Nice lock on. Takes down the Phoenix, and ByuN breaks out. And again, we need to get damage done with this. So ByuN is breaking out as he expands and claims his 3rd. I'm making the assumption that ByuN is going to push, but he might just be setting up to expand. Yeah, Temple Archives on the way. We're working towards Storm. ByuN is staying back. Now, this did force a big reaction. herO has been massing up a bunch of zealots here as a response. A storm has not yet begun, which is a little bit concerning. Okay, here comes ByuN. Here comes the rain push. And we'll see what he can accomplish. Now, this move out has a little potential. We mentioned earlier that Phoenixes are not ideal defensively. And does herO know he doesn't have Storm? Okay, he's morphing in Archons. Jesus. He's morphing in Archons. Again, Storm is a non-factor here. Phoenixes, if they try to engage, they can lift the tanks, but they can be focused down. Gunner's moving in. As also cannot engage. Not into the siege line. But ByuN backs off. Okay, backs off, he pulls away. Again, his mine count is quite low, and it's very zealot heavy. Does pick up that tank. Mine shot the Phoenixes. We need more mines back at home. Only 2. Yeah, only 2 mines. And okay, we're building up to 4. Yeah, there's now 4 mines. Show us some mine shots. Here's let's say charge in. Oh my god. Massive connections. We're feedbacking. We kite back. Nice EMP. EMPs are landing. Mine shots take off on the zealots. And ByuN defends. Again, he does defend. He cleans up the army. Again, massive mine connections. Here now he starts taking up. A blink is now on the way. Robo is now on the way. Never going into storm. Now we're going for a 4th base. A very clean defense here. A very nice defense by ByuN. But he is stuck at home now. And that's all that matters. herO may have had an inefficient fight, but hey, he's mass expanding. Taking more bases, left untouched, maintaining map control. What matters is herO's economy. As also pick up a couple of ghosts. herO's going to be careful. If he takes a bad fight, if its fight goes too poorly, he will trigger a counterattack. So herO needs to be careful. Yeah, we can see ByuN just walling off. He's just walling off, turtling up. Oof. Throwing down 3 CCs. All the command centers. And herO is happy to just throw the results away at this point. Upon recognition, now he knows, okay, ByuN is just going to back up. You're just going to turtle up. I can just freely throw units away. And just keep warping in. Just keep warping in. You're live? Yes, yes. We're always live. If it's ever not live, then it should say in the title. Oh. Zealots are being heated up. Nice time on the Archon. And has herO forced a counterattack? Oh, the Phoenixes! Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Phoenixes going down. herO, he would left the army inattentive. Miscontrol out of herO. It does miscontrol. Zealots are being thrown away. And ByuN is coming. And herO's in trouble. Again, herO was fine as long as ByuN was contained, but herO, he threw too much away. He threw too much away. ByuN breaks out. herO, he was too wasteful. We're trying to go for the base trade, but ByuN has a massive army to work with. And we never got Storm, by the way. We're working towards Disruptors. Yeah, Disruptors instead. Shows Nova. Lands 1. Oh my god, massive connection. Okay. It might not matter. It might not matter. Back at home, ByuN, he defends. He cleans up. We'll save the Robos, just barely. As herO did recall. Chasing down all these medevacs. 1, 2 medevacs going down. We're getting messy. After 13 minutes, finally, herO has some splash damage. He needs a little bit more time. As we're holding onto that Nova goes off. Gets a couple of Marines. Colossus now out. There's no Vikings. Yeah, there's no Vikings Colossus. They can reign supreme, but there's no range. Yeah, there's no extended double lance. Decent swipes. There's so many Marauders. They steam forward. They get one. They get one Colossus. They get the other Colossus as well. Massive pickups. And ByuN, he overwhelms. He overwhelms. He breaks on through. Takes down the Colossi, the Robos. Again, herO, he overcommitted. He overextended when he was across the map. Overextended. Oh, with these other reinforcements, nah, it shouldn't be enough. It should not be enough. As ByuN just needs to reinforce, keep on pushing. And here he has lost his economy. 16 probe kills. Economy has been crippled. ByuN is on 4 bases. His planetary is up. herO, he aped too much. He aped too much. Massive C build. Oh, I mean, a lot of this came down to, as we mentioned before, it came down to herO overextending. herO just took some bad fights. He took some bad fights. And that allowed ByuN to secure his 3rd base, to then get his 4th up and running as well. And just herO misjudging some engagements, not respecting the SimCity. Didn't respect the SimCity. Didn't respect the position, the mines. As he will lose another mineral line, another base. You're desperately going for a counterattack. This is the main base, by the way. The main base did float over to expand. And gonna be pushing. Oh, a nice friendly fire that herO just calls, but it's too little too late. Too little too late. As herO, he will bleed out these final units. And GG gets called. GG gets called. ByuN ties up the series 2-2. We're going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game number 5. We're heading to that final game of the series. Meanwhile, we do have an update here. We have a confirmation. The upper semis did conclude. Solar did take down Cure 3-1 and is waiting in the grand finals for the winner of this series. It's either going to be a ZVP or a ZVT. One or the other. Go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Attorney's Edge, we have the red Protoss player, himself. We have the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Again, being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? Can he recover? As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. So, let us go as we made it here all the way to the ace match again. herO, he was punished for being overly aggressive on Rainfall. herO, he was pushing into choke points, rushing into minefields, and he did lose the momentum. He lost his aggression, and it did trigger a counterattack. That's what we were concerned about, that if herO would take too many poor fights, that it would trigger a counterattack across the map, and he did. And ByuN just snowballed out of control from there. Got out of hand. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we are getting ready here for the final game of the series. Oh, we open up double gas. Interesting. Double gas opener here by ByuN. Maybe a little bit paranoid about a proxy by herO. Is paranoid. Back at home, herO does go for his gateway here, further closer to his mineral line. The initial probe does move out for a scout. We'll confirm the double gas. We'll confirm. I don't understand how people could consider herO more goat-like than Max Packs. What? Talking about? Right now, Max Packs, he's like top 3 Protoss in the world, right? Top 3. I know that Thorn in the chat is very biased towards Max Packs. I think even he knows as well. The biases are there. And there was a time a couple of years ago where Max Packs was arguably the best Protoss in the world. But I mean, you should be aware that Max Packs has been a lot less active as of late. Hard to say as to why that is, but Max Packs has been competing and playing in less tournaments, and that also reflects like in his current form. I say even current form, like the entire year, even pre-patch, right? Even pre-patch, we spoke a lot about Max Packs' unwillingness to adapt to the new meta, if you remember, in regards to the change to the battery. This was last year, if you recall, in 2025, where the battery was changed and the Max Packs opener in PvP was weakened, but Max Packs, it took him a long time to adapt to PvP. And adapt away from being greedy in PvP, and he was struggling there as well. Likewise in PvT as well. He's a strong player, don't get me wrong. But I'll say like 2023, 2024 era StarCraft those were the stronger years for Max Packs for sure. And again, it's possible as well that he's just focusing on other aspects of his life right now. Focusing on other things. herO does move in. At the same time, ByuN threatening a dive. I remember because of the double gas opener, ByuN does open up Reaper Hellion. Reaper Hellion. As he even gets caught out. Very nice force field. And catching at the Hellion. Likewise, herO chasing down the rest of the army. Catching at the Reaper. So far, a nice defense by herO, bearing in mind that ByuN went for more tech-heavy starts, and he's rushing into a third CC. This is looking very similar to last game. Very fast third command center here by ByuN. Once again, the big power spike for ByuN is going to hit in the mid game. So we're going to have a faster third expansion. We're going to have a stronger mid game here with a better economy. It will take a little bit though for this to really kick in. It's going to be up to herO to try to delay or punish ByuN in some way. So herO's working towards Blink, getting a third base. For one of the first times this series, herO is going for a third base on time. It's been very, very common this series, where herO has gone for, say, a faster forge, a robo, a bay as well on 2 bases. A lot of it has to do with the maps because of how aggressive the map pool has been in this series so far. herO hasn't had the luxury of going for a fast third, but here, faster third, like before any further greater tech. So both players are being more economic in their own way. I do still favor ByuN's position currently, but oh, hello. Do we actually get into Storm this time? We have not experienced Storm at all this series. It looked like herO wanted to play Storm last game, but like he forgot it. Then he had to like panic make Archons. That's why he had so many idle High Templar gathering energy, if you recall. But this time with an earlier Temple Archives, I'm curious if we are planning to go into Storm or just try to hit a timing with Zealots and with Archons. I don't see a Forge. Okay, herO. As here he's parked outside of the bases. Okay, we have Storm. So Storm is on the way for the first time. For the first time this best of 5. Storm is on the way. Playing can require tournaments without a cam. The Caribbean. Oh, there we go. So now going double Forge. I did notice, I mean, you heard me, I was taking note of the fact that the Forge was really late, which was making me a little bit concerned. Now to catch up, double Forge, double upgrades. So delayed upgrades here by herO, but faster third base, and Storm is going to be ready for the main engage. So here's not claiming his 4th. Again, thankfully he's not being overly safe, as he's setting up for the Storm drop. This will come down to ByuN's reactions. Ideally, herO wants to distract with these Stalkers. Oh. herO pulls away. Does blink, does back off. We'll lose 1 Stalker. As is happening, herO moves in. Ooh, massive Storm. Here lands 1, lands 2, and we'll get no SCVs yet. The workers that do pull away in time. Whew. Yeah, doesn't kill any SCVs. The SCVs are very low, that is true, but doesn't lose them. Yeah, ByuN does defend. Does react well enough. And here he's going back in. Oh no! Trying to be cheeky, trying to go in with the Archon. Will not be able to. herO overextends. No, the Prism. Yeah, the Prism's going to go down. Massive lock on. The Prism cannot get away. And this was not worth it. Losing 2 Templar and the Prism as well, and didn't kill any SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it's looking rough for herO, but he has a lot of Storms. He's holding on to 4 Storms. First Storm does zone. Massive tank shots. Oh no! Oh, massive tank shots. 1, 2, 3 at Templar go down. Massive PiGosaur, and with that, there's no Storm left. ByuN holds. Yeah, ByuN does hold. herO, he clumped up his army. He got punished. Nice target firing out of ByuN. And this is looking rough for herO. We mentioned this at the beginning of the game when we saw the initial 3rd CC. Remember, ByuN's big power spike comes in the mid game, and it's about to hit. 2-2 is on the way. Ghost production has begun. herO, he needs more damage. Gonna be collapsing in. Oh my god. Yeah, Mind Shots, they do punish the Zealots. Now, what's important here is that while that engage was happening, Zealots got into the mineral line. They got into the mineral line. 10 SCVs is going to be going down. Some decent economic damage finally dealt here by herO. Kills 10 SCVs. Storm is coming in. Nice EMP. EMP lands. There's 1 Storm left. Storms the Widow Mines. So he jumps into the main. And you can see here he's just rallying across the map. Trying to break ByuN. Dropping to the main base. I mean, these LSA trade well. Catching up 4, 5, 6 Marines. Once again, EMP lands on the High Templar. Zealots the Zealots get punished. We get some decent storms towards the end, but that was a double storm. Bit of panic there from herO. And it does waste a storm. Now, what's scary is that for this, like these past couple of moments here, this past minute or so, ByuN hasn't really lost much. He has not lost much. He's stabilizing, getting a 4th command center. It's now finishing, and ByuN is about to max out. That kind of aggression from herO. Ideally, herO wanted to break the economy and trade a little bit better here, because he failed to. ByuN will soon break out from this contain with a massive army, with Ghost, with Mass Bio. 3-3 has now begun for ByuN. Takes down the Prism. herO's in trouble. And behind this, he is switching to Colossus production. He needs more time. I'm hoping that Colossus is not stuck. Is he stuck? Is that... I mean, because of the rally... Is he... I mean, we'll see with the second Colossus. Oh, he is! No! The Colossus... The Sim City map. herO... Are both Colossus gonna get stuck? There's one across the map, thankfully. Curious what happens here. Here, he's rotating. Okay, spawns on the other side. So there's just one Colossus that's dead supply in the bases. Yeah, spawns on the other side, so that's how we can get out. Oh no. Feels bad, man. We're missing a Colossus on the front lines. herO. Does he notice? He does. Does he? There we go. Break him out, Pappy. Break him out. There we go. Thankfully, that pylon wasn't powering the Robo or anything like that. He breaks him free. As hero's in position to deny the 4th base. How many Vikings do we have? 5. Not that many, considering there are 4 Colossus. We'll get one though. Nice EMP. Yeah, massive EMP in the Archons. The herO overextends. Yeah, he commits in. He commits in. He overextends. He does commit too hard. herO, he will lose everything. The entire army just crumbles. And that's too much. This should trigger a counterattack. herO, he bleeds out his Archons, his Templar, his Colossus. It all goes down. Here's moving in. Oh, double storm. We get some decent storms, but there's no follow-up here. There's no support for the army. That's why the Vikings just go ham. They get 1, 2, 3 Colossus. We'll reset the Colossus count completely. 0 splash damage. The army sims in. And ByuN has done it. Again, here he was just hyper aggressive, and his goal there was to try to break ByuN's 3rd. He failed to do so. Failed to break the 3rd base. And ByuN overwhelms. And with that, we're now just snowing out control, looking to make it to the finals. ByuN just waiting for his reinforcements, needs a little bit more time. Un poquito más. Just needs a little bit more. Now, when it comes to herO, once again, like max out armies, the soup is lying to you. One army is not quite like the other. There are opportunities like this, like with Zealot buys, with Purification Novas. Like there are ways to recover in this game. Here it does get what, 10, 11, 12 SCV kills. Like this is good damage. 14. 15 SCVs going down, freeing up supply for more disruptors. Now, this is a world where if herO can land some well-placed Novas, then herO can start to recover and claim the gold. The issue right now, though, is that ByuN has map control. ByuN has control of the map. He's moving in. That's EMP. How many Vikings? 13, okay. 13 Vikings. 6 Ghosts. This is a very delicate dance for herO. Gee, he has 5 Colossus. What the hell? It's a lot of Colossus, papi. Once again, as herO backs up, Goes for Zealot run by. Gets a full surround on the planetary. Late repair. Doesn't go for it though. Backs off, pulls away. The goal base is getting up. Scans his revealer. This will put pressure on ByuN. ByuN cannot let this goal get up and running. Meanwhile, hero's mass expanding. Once again, the Zealots are distracting. They trade well against the Marauders. 1, 2, 3, 4 Marauder kills. Efficient trades. Oh god, the mind shot there. Never mind. And here, he's doing well here. Distracting ByuN, going for more warp-ins. Scan reveals the warp-in location. But once again, this is distracting ByuN, and it lets the gold base continue. The gold base continues. Oh, the Colossus. Yeah, the Colossus, one of them does go down. Nova, some panic. Nova's at a herO. Losing 1, 2, 3. No, we can't take this fight. herO, he cannot fight head on. He's gonna lose every single Colossus. 5 Colossus go down, and 2 disruptors, and the gold base. It's all gonna fall. herO, he gets caught out in the open. Again, he cannot take these head on fights. We mentioned earlier that herO has a very fragile army, and you can see it, right? It's just a very, very fragile army. You engage with a Terran and the army just topples, man. You can't. So here he rotates. Here rotates over. He's hoping to force ByuN back home. Zealots, they peel off into the mineral line, but running out of Zealots. Yeah, he's running out of Zealots. He has to back off. Shots and Novas. Novas, they get 1 Viking. Oh, the splits. Jesus. Yeah, nice splits. 2 goes, 2 go down. But hey, ByuN takes down 2 bases. Takes down 2 expansions. The Viking count is not reset. Never mind. I was like, oh, we're down to 1 Viking. No, there's 14. There's plenty of Vikings. As ByuN breaks down, so knocks down another expansion, another base. herO moves in. ByuN is out of position here. The Novas, they can go up and we can kill the expansion. Can he? Oh my god, the disruptors, they go down one after the other. Does take down the planetary, but at the cost of 3 disruptors. Nice towards the end. Nice Nova here. He has to get the hell out of here. It was a very messy trade. He does get the base, does get 12 pros, but again, did lose 3 disruptors. And he has to get out of here. herO recalls. Okay, does recall. That's a kill, not a cancel. Kills the CC. Recalls to the top side. Here comes the main army. And ByuN's main force here is on the south side of the map. herO, can he get another base? herO has the high ground. ByuN's out of position. We're going for the planetary. herO gets another. Another base goes down. herO has to get out of here. He has to get out. We gotta pull out. The Novas. Oh my god, nice connections. Yeah, Novas, they connect. Oh, catching up more Marauders, but last another disruptor goes down. And here we gotta leave. We gotta leave, as he will lose every disruptor. Oof. Disruptors do fall. Nice little warp-ins, punishing the Marauders. As herO, he is down to 0 disruptors. No reinforcing Novas either. Zealots, they do trade decently here. Looking down the army. We need more Zealots, though. We need more Zealots. They just warp in. herO. Can he get on top of the Marauders? Can he get on top of the Ghosts? Gets 1. There's 3 Ghosts left. Not enough Zealots. Yeah, there's not enough Zealots here. We need more Zealots. A bit of misrally. Yeah, misrally as well. Throws away 2 Immortals. Expensive losses for herO. Expensive, man. I'm like, where are the Zealots? They're across the map. There's no CC. Yeah, the bases were taken on the top side instead, so Zealots, I don't really get much damage. As is the natural floating over for ByuN. Does float over. Claims a linear third. Another Stalker counterattack on the top side. Can we snipe the Liberators? Gets one, gets two. Do we have a recall? Uh oh. No recall. Yeah, no recall, son. That's a lot of gas. That's a lot of gas being thrown away here for herO. Zealots, they try to engage. For minerals, they trade decently here, but alas, the gold is exposed. Yeah, the gold is exposed here. He has to fight for it. Coming in from behind. Blinks forward. Stalkers, they need to pull away. hero's holding. Gets a ghost. Again, this game is very... We're getting scrappy. We're getting very messy, very scrappy. Here, he barely holds on to that gold. Defends the top base as well. ByuN, he's down to what? He's down to 3 bases. We have the center high yield gas base. We have the northern fourth. We have the southern base as well. 3 bases are going to be here for ByuN. The other bases are mined out. herO dives in. Oh, crazy blink. Yeah, that was not the blink to go for. herO, we need to calm down. How many Vikings do we have? 1. Only 1 Viking. The Colossus. We do have Extended Lance. But there we go. The final Viking goes down. The Colossus, they reign supreme. And herO, has he done it? DTs are in the mix as well. There is a scan, but ByuN, he does not notice. He does take down 1 Colossus. But herO does it. Wow, herO does it. A very messy game here. Very messy, very back and forth. How many times did herO lose his entire army? Like, there were like maybe 3 different moments in this game where his entire robot army was reset. Like 3 really, really rough fights for herO. But he clawed his way back into it. He was able to claim the gold. He claimed the gold base. He maintained the gold expansion as well. He mass expanded. In the end, he barely could afford it. What really saved herO this game, though, were the run buys. You notice, we tried to point it out at the time, where ByuN had a massive lead, a massive advantage, but we saw non-stop Zealot run buys, Zealot counterattacks. Sometimes they weren't worth it. True, sometimes they were hurting herO more than helping, but for the most part, they were at least keeping ByuN busy. And they allowed herO to maintain these bases. He maintained these expansions. He was able to keep up his economy, keep ByuN distracted, and slowly recover. But again, it was a very messy game. Like, it was not clean whatsoever. Not clean. But herO, he got there. As ByuN, he did lose that central left base. DTs, they try to waddle into said mineral line. I mean, this main world army is still very robust. It's still a very, very robust army. It's just the economy is lacking for for ByuN. So ByuN has no longevity. Just him in. Nice focus firing. Ooh, doesn't get the immortal though. Yeah, it doesn't get the immortal. Zealots, they collapse on the marauders. They run through the speed zone. Jesus. Yeah, the bio army gets chased down. And remember, this army can't be replaced. It cannot be replaced. It's all that ByuN has left. And that means he has nothing left. Nothing back. GG gets called. And herO, he will claim the series 3-2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. herO, he will claim a lead in the series. He will advance on into the grand finals where he will face off against Solar. GG. GG, well played. Meanwhile, shout out to ByuN. ByuN, he fought very well, very hard. He was even outplaying herO, even in this final game. So, to be fair, herO had 2 times the burn for a while, 2 times the workers for a while. That was at the very end. That was towards the end of the game. What was more impressive was before that, when herO was down in workers, when he was down in bases, when herO was losing fights. That's why we emphasized what was impressive was despite herO being so far behind and being at a deficit, he was going for non-stop counterattacks, run-bys, and with that, he was able to buy time to recover and to catch back up and to retake the gold base and to reestablish himself. Remember, he initially lost the gold. He lost the gold. He lost his 4th base. He lost so much. He was taking some bad fights as well. Took some really bad fights. But he bought time. He clawed his way back in. GG. GG, well played. A very impressive comeback out of herO. And he will advance on to these finals. Let's go. Let us go as we get ready here for the grand finals. It is going to be a best of 5 between herO and Solar. Let's go. Let's go. So our players are conducting the vetoes as we speak. Beautiful. So yeah, like, what do you think about the patches mod and the Monday Night Weeklies? Use it; it's really good. It's interesting. I mean, we've casted patches tournaments before. The Monday Night Weeklies are a Roddy only tournament, from my understanding. So Roddy's been covering and casting that. Yeah, patches mod is very interesting. I mean, patches, he's even said it himself that like his mod is meant to be more about entertainment more than anything. It is fun, and we've covered some patches tournaments before. We don't really have an intention of changing like the Tuna Cup to the patches mod or anything like that, but I'm happy to cover some of patches events every now and then for sure. Happy to cover it. It's very fun. Because right now we're catching up on all the StarCraft Evo content, so we have the ladder invitational this week, but after the ladder invitational we don't really have that much Evo content to catch up on. And I believe there's like a patch in the works, so maybe starting next week we'll be, instead of having the StarCraft Evolution slots, we'll have some patches mod coverage instead, while SEVO is on like is in their off season. So while they're in the off season, we'll be covering some of the patches events again. They're very fun. They're very fun. It's interesting. I don't think, when was the last time we casted a patches tournament? I want to say it's been like 3 months. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the patches stuff, because we were casting it before Rotterdam started covering it. Let's see, patches. So so the last time we casted a patches tournament was in 2025, November of 2025 was a TLMC 21 patches bash. There you go. So it's been 10 months. It's been like almost a year, like 10 months since we've casted the patches mod. From my understanding, it has changed quite a bit since then. I know that back then Terran was favored. Terran was it was known that Terran was more favored than the other races. So we saw a lot of TVT finals, but again, that was like 10 months ago. So I know that patches has been working on it, of course, and has been adjusting and adapting and working on his mod. We are scheduled to cast some next week. How good is Viking at tanking damage on the ground? Not very. The thing about like landed Vikings, like it, you know, they if you have them, may as well, right? But if you're looking to like use them for solely that purpose, like the issue with losing Vikings is you don't want to. You want to retain your Vikings so then you can deny any kind of Colossus switch and Colossus transition. The thing about in TVP, and you kind of saw it here in this game as well, that when you build up a Colossus count, your opponent responds with Vikings, they reset the Colossus count, then you switch to Disruptors. But as the game progresses and as the Terran player starts to slowly lose out their Vikings, then it does create an opportunity to go back into Colossus. And that's why you saw Colossus at the very end there for herO, because the Viking out was very low, because they were being nibbled away at over time. The idea of like wanting to like land Vikings on a more consistent basis, it's more valuable to keep them alive and to keep them safe, to make sure that you have them ready to deny any kind of switch back into Colossus. So it's something that you typically do when you're desperate or when you want to kill. Like if you win a fight, if you're pushing and if you feel like you have enough to like end the game, then just send it, go in, land the Vikings, and just commit. But if you mean to like regularly use them to like tank or something, then it's, I would say, ill-advised. Just because there's more value in keeping them alive, right? if the game is going to go longer. If you're like defending against an all-in, or if you yourself are going for an all-in, like different story. It's a case-by-case basis. But regardless, we're waiting for our players to get ready. Vita's underway. And it's always exciting to see herO when it comes to PvZ. Here he has a very wide, diverse array of builds available to him, whether it's going double Stargate, Void Ray, double Stargate Mass Oracle, going into, say, charge-based all-ins, or even heavy robo play as well. So when it comes to the meta of PvZ, it's either you go into Skytoss and go into late game, which Solar does struggle against, or to be hyper aggressive. But really behind all of that, it's about hiding your build and trying to catch your opponent off guard and be able to successfully kind of trick your opponent or catch them with their pants down. We'll see. Curious if needed. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're desperate, then you know, may as well, right? Esther, tell them. Dave was saying they're creating a ladder. They're working on a ladder for the patches mod. They are. It's I mean, I wish them the best with it. I don't know how viable it's going to be. So I think an example of that, like when I compare mods, when I compare these quote unquote like smaller sects of the community within StarCraft, I think of StarCraft Evolution, which I would say is probably the most successful mod out there, right? Like when it comes to having its own competitive scene and having its own competitive league around it. And they also have their own custom ladder. But even that custom ladder is very underpopulated. From what I've heard recently as well, like maybe like a couple of weeks ago, the StarCraft Division ladder just doesn't really have too much activity. The reasoning for this is because most tournaments are still, of course, on the vanilla version of the game, so pro players don't really have as much value actively spending time on laddering on something like the SC Evo, like on the SC Evo ladder. I would assume the same thing about the patches ladder mod as well. Where of course I wish them the best, but it's hard to justify having too many pro players like dedicate time to it, right? It's hard to do so. But I do wish them the best. Do wish them the best, of course. As we're getting into our next game and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Rainfall, we have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself. We have the South Korean Zerg. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go as we're getting to our fresh series. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gambit time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Best of luck. As we are stepping into our fresh best of 5 grand finals. Again, to get here, Solar did take down Cure in the semifinals. We did not cover that series as that was happening at the same time as herO versus ByuN. They were happening concurrently. So fresh series, fresh best of 5. Let's go. Now coming into this, we'll just go over what we just mentioned when it comes to PvZ. PvZ right now has found itself, or has stabilized in the middle, of course, quite some time ago. Really, one of two things are viable at the moment. It's either you play hybrid defensively, go into Stargate, into Void Ray, rush into a mothership, and go into Skytoss, or you go into a variation of All-In. There are a lot of variations, to be fair. whether it's Glaive base, whether it's charge based, whether you're going into Mass Oracle or Mass Void Ray. There are a bunch of aggressive options, but what I will say is that most of them, if not all of them, are heavily reliant on hiding the build of choice and trying to obscure what it is you're exactly doing against the Zerg. So a lot of this will come down to denying vision, denying scouting, keeping your build of choice hidden, and pulling that off. Of course, welcome to Rainfall. Rainfall is a very small map of the map pool, very small map, short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here. On the flip side of things, especially when it comes to Zerg, on this map especially, it is very difficult for a Protoss player to defend on 3 and 4 bases. If the plan here is to go Stargate, Void Ray, into a 3rd base, into Fast Fleet Beacon, into Mothership, into 2nd Stargate, it's not really... It's going to be very difficult to achieve here because both the 3rd base options are very open, very susceptible to these big either Roach all-ins or even Hydra all-ins on 3 and 4 bases. It's just very difficult to defend here on Rainfall. So we're expecting something more aggressive out of herO, and I'm sure Solar is as well. I would, in my mind, like a Roach Warren, like an early Roach Warren would make a lot of sense for Solar. To play like safe, just be safe, play Roach, don't go Eva Chamber +1 melee. But we'll see how confident Solar feels. Again, herO is the best Protoss in the world. He's also a very aggressive and very unorthodox Protoss as well. So we'll see how safe Solar plays. Now, it's going to be an Oracle opener. Does open Oracle, will chase down the initial Overlord as well. With this, we'll deny vision, deny scouting. Behind this, we're going for the 2nd Oracle into a 3rd base. So far, everything's looking normal. Right now, we're looking for the we're looking for the Twilight Council timing. We're looking for the Council. Solo pulling into gas. Does go Eva Chamber first. Bold move. We're going Eva Chamber +1. This is the beginning of skipping Roaches. So Solar, he is cutting corners. And we'll see if he's punished, as that is standard timing. Standard Twilight Council, standard Forge. It looks like +1 in charge. It's not early. herO's building up on 3 bases. So Solar going into +1 like this and going Ling Hydra should not be punished. If it is going to be charged, Solar will need to mix in some Banelings. Otherwise, he's going to have a bit of a more inefficient army. But first we have to confirm whether it's charge or blink. Blink is also viable. It's more rare nowadays to go +1 blink stalker. There's a lot of pressure on the Protoss player. Show us what you got. +1 and blink. Okay, let's go. So when you open up blink like this, herO needs to be aggressive. He needs to be active, he needs to be aggressive, he needs to be in the face of Solar. You cannot like play passively, and you cannot slowly defend and saturate your 3rd base and work towards Storm. That kind of style was very trendy pre-patch, but post-patch, no shot. Like you can't get away with that. For now, we're building up into 4 gates. No, sorry, 3? Gee, okay. 3 gateways. Solar is going for the safety Baneliner, so if it was charged, Solar, he'd be ready for it. Here comes the gateway explosion. This is good. As we mentioned, like, herO needs to be aggressive with this. So we're getting up to 6. So right now that's 5 gateways. We're about to have a 6th gateway as well. Into a Temple Archives. So 6-8 blink into Storm. And we'll see if herO can apply pressure and even deny the 4th base. As your Oracles I pick in, we'll snipe 1. Yeah, 1 Oracle goes down. Big overextension by herO. Oof. He does get a full scout confirming the Eva Chamber. Now he knows it's not going to be Roach heavy. Storm will have its place here. Lings are here for the counterattack. Uh-oh, there's no battery, but there's a wall. Oh, yeah, Stalker goes down, but Lings will be cleaned up. That's 5 drones going down to the Oracle. This is okay damage, but herO did lose an Oracle, so Not the best trade. hero's trying to be active. Here come the reinforcements. As I mentioned, like, he needs to be in the face of Solar. The moment that hero backs off, Solar gets up to full 4-base saturation and then can max out. So we gotta keep pushing. For now, denying creep. Does rotate around. Storm has begun. And here he's actually okay. He's rotating with the Stalkers. He pulls back with the Adepts. Adepts defend back at home. Claiming a 4th base. Solar, he's droning up to 80. Oh, he's gonna try to turtle. Okay. Okay. I'm not fond of this style. Especially on Rainfall, but well, let's go. Let's see if we can do it. So hero's going to try to defend, turtle up, and get into the fleet beacon, into the mothership with a gateway heavy composition. The issue with what we're seeing here is that because we're being defensive back at home, Solar is now up to 80 workers. If there was more pressure, then Solar would be forced to make units early, but he's been able to freely drone up, and now can fixate on purely army production. And here comes the wave of Banelings. Nice storms! Ooh! Yeah, Hydras, they stand in the storms. Hydra speed is not yet done. There's, what, 2 storms left. Oh, spends 1. And storms, they're buying time. They're buying time. No Baneling speed. Solar. Where's Baneling speed? The slow Banes. Yeah, the slow Banes are waddling in. That's the final storm. So a messy engage here from Solar. We're getting messy. But he does get the 4th. Yeah, he will zone the 4th base. He will zone the army away from the 4th. We'll still knock it down. There's the NG overcharge. There are some storms left. Baneling speed now begins. We did have the resources for it earlier, by the way. I did take notes. I still run by, and Solo turns everything around. He turns everything back around. This is buying some time. But again, it's going to be a very difficult task here for Hero to maintain his 4th base. Because Solar, he's coming back. And the goal for Solar should just be deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base over and over again. And max out. We're down to, is this only 2 Templar left? 4. Okay, there's 4 Templar. There's 2 on the left. There's 2 on the right. Solar collapsing on the 3rd base. Had Templar exposed. And he will lose both. Yeah, both Templar are going to be going down. Banelings there waddle into the mineral line. Ah, they're waddling in. There's no escape. Oh my god, massive connections. The slow Bane run by. Yeah, and with that hero, he'll lose the mineral line, he'll lose the economy. Better engage here, better concave for Solar. We spoke about this earlier, but you can see just the angle of attack for the aggressing player is so good. So the best fight that Solar could hope for. Concave against the defending player. Going for the Nexus. Gets a snipe. Kills the expansion. And Hero is down to a 2-base economy. Down to 2 bases. And again, Hero should never take a 3rd. Or he should never like recover from here. As long as Solar doesn't slip up. So far, the saturation is solid. Yeah, the saturation is solid. Building up our Link Bane Hydra. This time he's got Baneling speed. Hydra range. About to have 2-1-1. Or 2-1, sorry. In terms of the upgrades. I do appreciate that we have a safety spire as well, just in case the Skytoss builds up to a critical mass. Here come the storms. Yeah, there's 1. We got at least 2 more left. Lings, they flood into the natural. Yeah, Lings are flooding in. And they flood into the bases. Lings, they do trickle into the natural, into the main base as well. They're trying to wreak havoc. Hydras, they move in. There's still another storm. It's getting a little bit messy. Yeah, a little bit messy here as the Ling runway doesn't really achieve too much damage. Hydras, they tank the storm. Oh god, we're just taking the storms to the face. Does take them to the face. Still breaks through. And with that Solar, he will once again get into the economy. There's barely any workers left here for herO. As you'll lose another 20 probes. 20 probes go down. And again, Solar, he's looking very comfortable. Looking very comfortable. Here does spool for Zealot run by. Does spool for run by. Doing what he can. And GG gets called, and with that, Solar takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Solar will take lead in the series. Winding it back here again, when we saw the build that herO was going for, I mean, you could hear it. I said it. I vocalized that as well, that I was very concerned for herO when he decided not to go for an all-in or not to be hyper turtly. herO, he went for a blink base opener into Storm, into defending on 4 bases, and we did try to emphasize, and we'll re-emphasize once again, it is very difficult to play this style to the point where I would say it's unviable on Rainfall. Just because of how open the 3rd and 4th base is. You saw it, right? You saw how open the 3rd bases are on this map. On some of these other maps, it is possible to turtle up and to get into Sky Toss, of course. Very much so. We see that quite often. But here on Rainfall, the map is working against the defending player. It is easier to push in and break the 3rd and break the 4th base. The rushes is by ground and just how open these bases are. So the idea of herO trying to play this style on this map, it's, yeah, no shot. no shot back, no shot. GG, well played. With that, Solar, he will snowball out of control. Again, he will break the 4th initially, then the 3rd base, and rotate and just ensure that herO could never really build up, could never play his game. Let's go. As now we're loading into Fear and Faith. Fear and Faith is a larger map of the map pool, depending on spawn locations. RNG is a factor. RNG is a factor here. Let's go. Oh, okay. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Fear and Faith, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg player himself, the South Korean Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing T1. It is herO. And welcome to Fear and Faith, a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in any corner of the map, and we have found ourselves with cross spawns, diagonal spawn locations, long rushes by ground, a lot of distance between ourselves and each other. The 4-base setup here is relatively secure. I will say that the entrances here are quite large, but rotating between these entrances can take quite some time, enough time for the defending player to respond. The idea of herO wanting to turtle up and defend on 4 bases, it is going to be easier on Fear and Faith. It is going to be easier here. Especially thanks to the spawn locations as well. I'm not saying that it's like a guarantee, but there's going to be a bit of a different dynamic. As a result, how will Solar approach this? Now, because of the diagonal spawn locations, something like Mutaplay is more viable here. Like trying to rush into Spire, into Mutas, and then just wreak havoc with Fast Muta is going to be an option of play. Solar, on the flip side, could be hyper greedy, could kind of recognize like the defensive position and just mass expand. Or we could see Solar double down and recognize that, hold on, like, it's going to be easier for maybe herO to secure a high base count here. Let's all in. Like, let's all in and try to kill herO early on instead. I feel like this time I'm going to be looking at Solar more than anything. Last game we were more curious about what herO was going to do on Rainfall. I'm curious to see how Solar plays out at Fear and Faith. As for now, Solar does scout top right. Checking bottom left. We'll eventually confirm herO's location. Eventually. herO likewise has to confirm as well. So now again we are opening up. Here we're going to be scouting across the map. And here he will find Solar. We'll find him. And we'll scout. And once again, we're just going for a Stargate opener. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a slower early game here, especially because the small location. So just Stargate opener into Oracle, most likely into no, my apologies, Void Ray. Okay, hunting down the Overlord. And hey, this is the beginning of what we just mentioned. Because the small locations in the map itself, there's a higher chance that we go Void Ray into second Stargate, into Mass Sky Toss. It's more viable here. And this is the first step in that direction. Not saying that we will see it, but it's a possibility, a very real possibility. As Solar does scout the Void Ray, you can see the Overlord turn back around. Solar pulls back with all the Overlords. Trying to race back home. Lings are being active. It's going to be Void Ray into Oracle initially to harass across the map. Ooh, and they will slip in. Yeah, they get a full surround. The Adept is going to get caught. Yeah, no wall up here at the natural. Does get one Adept and does force a Void Ray back home. Giving it to Road. Not quite. They just want Adept. Lings, they do hit the third base. Going for the pylon. Will get a kill. So nice pickups here and there out of Solar. And we're waiting for the tech. Forge. This might be for cannons. We're going for the Forge. I don't see a Twilight Council yet. Are we going for the second Stargate? Oracles are amassing. Yeah, there it is, Fleet Beacon. So Forge, that is just for cannons. So cannons, Fleet Beacon, and we're rushing Sky Toss. We're rushing into Sky Toss. There's a reason why we brought this up at the beginning of the game. And as soon as we saw the Void Ray, we re-emphasize it again. If we can assume that it's going to be Sky Toss that early on, so can Solar. Like, Solar can have that in the back of his mind. He still just has to confirm. He has to confirm. Solar sees the Forge. That's a big tell. It's a big tell. At the same time, the Oracles get across the map. 1, 2, 3 drones. Getting to 4, getting to 5 workers. Some okay damage. Lings, they bust in. No, they get a full scout. Yeah, Lings, they bust into the main base, and they will confirm the Fleet Beacon is aware of the potential mothership. Still no second Stargate, by the way. I feel like this is still a little bit open to something else, but there it is. Instant Spire. Spire gets thrown down. Roach Horn as well. Going to Roach Ravager Corruptor. And because of how shaky the early game has been, can herO even build up into Sky Toss anymore? Or is he even going to? Like, there's still only one Void Ray. What's the plan? There's the mothership. How many pros have we lost this game? 5. 5 workers have gone down. The build has been disrupted somewhat. No, he starts +1. Yeah, that's why I was really curious, because there was no second Void Ray, there was no second Stargate. So I was curious as to like how flexible this is going to be. A very late +1 into late Twilight Council. So hero's trying to fake out. I like this. He's trying to fake out. Trying to fake out Solar. Making it look like Sky Toss, but switching to ground. The issue here is that Solar, it feels like he's ready for this kind of scenario. There's a reason why he didn't just go for the Spire. He went Spire and went for the Roach Warren. He's getting +1 range. Remember, he's going Roach Ravager Corruptor. He's not neglecting his ground army. So even though herO is going for this like ground switch and a very awkward and late ground switch, like Solar, he's not neglecting that ground army either. So it is a very cheeky build here by herO, but I mean, It's something that Zerg players are getting ready for anyway. Anion Pulse Crystals? What? Yeah, herO, he's misreading this. He's hard countering mutas. Corruptors have been revealed. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Corruptors are revealed. They hunt down the initial oracles. There's the switch into Void Ray. I was about to say that Phoenixes and Annual Pulse Crystals, they do not counter Corruptors. We need Void Rays. I'm happy that we cancel, otherwise this is a waste of resources. I mean, you can make an argument that maybe herO expects to lose everything in the sky. And if that happens, then Solar may be triggered to go into Mass Muta, but So then there'd be value in this later on, but I feel like if we're gonna lose everything in the sky and we end up in that position, like it's gonna go south anyway. Like, I don't know. There we go. Solar, he's maxed. He's maxed out. And again, hero's had a very delayed build. A very, very delayed build here. He doesn't really have much to work with. Solar should be able to bring him down. Does that a cloak? Files, they take down one of the voids. Yeah, Void Ray does full. We gotta respect the mothership. Corruptors they will punish, and the Wiles, they do bring down the mothership just barely. Yeah, mothership does fall, no more cloak, and with that, Solar's done it. Solar, he has done it. He overwhelms, takes down another Void Ray, Biles they land. And again, it was a very cheeky build there at herO, but GG gets called, and Solar, he'll take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. Solar is up 2-0. He is one game away from claiming the series. Again, herO had an interesting build here. Unfortunately, I feel like the build is heavily reliant on forcing an overreaction. So winding it back, I'm pretty sure the goal of herO, especially because he got scouted, was that he was hoping that he would force Solar into a Spire, into like a heavy Corruptor count, or maybe even like a Hydra all-in. Like, he was hoping for one of the two, and then he'd like catch him off guard by going into like a mass ground switch instead. The issue, though, as we mentioned, is that Solar, he was building up his Roach Ravager quite heavily and only made a minimal amount of Corruptors. Didn't really make that many. Why is that? Because when he re-scouted the main base with his, I think it was Zerglings at the time, he saw that there was no Void Ray production, right? He saw that the Stargate was idle. There was no other tech, but the Stargate was idle, and that was a big tell that something weird was going on. So he made sure that he had his ground army ready, and with that, he just punishes. He overwhelms. And now we're getting into game number 3. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of At Eternity's Edge, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg leading the series 2-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have... Let's go! We are switching to Terran, and again, his Terran is not bad. For those that are curious, we've casted plenty of heroes Terran before. He is 6k over on Korea. As I just mentioned, representing T1, it is herO. Let's go. Let us go. We are switching to Terran. That's the only out here for PvZ. Now, once again, just to reiterate, herO, he is very good with his Terran. He has played Terran against other top players in the past. He's done so against Clem. He's done so against, I want to say against Max Packs, against Classic even as well. So hero's off race is not bad. But the issue here is that like 6k is basically like, you know, it's like semi-pro level, right? Like that's on the bottom end of things. It's not bad, but in the grand scheme of things, but against someone like Solar, Solar is still heavily favored. He's still heavily favored. I'll be honest, whenever herO plays Terran, it's usually against Protoss. Like, usually he plays TVP, so I haven't really seen much of hero's TVZ. I don't really know what to expect. I would imagine that a longer game is something that a herO does not want to get into. I mean, no Terran player wants to get into that, to be fair. We're expecting like an earlier aggressive timing out of herO, more than anything. especially on Adder's Edge. Like, the issue with this map is that if you try to turtle, whether it's like mech or whether it's like regular bio or tank, if you try to turtle up, the Zerg player will take the gold. The Zerg player will take the gold base, they'll take the high yield gas base. The Zerg player will have a massive advantage over the Terran if you're too defensive. Like, you need to be active. You need to be in the face of the Zerg. In the face, Pappy, in the face. As here he floats over the ranks to hunt down the Lings. This is rough. Yeah, Lings, they will punish the Marines, and this ranks floating will not kill the Overlord. This is a very rough start for herO. GG. Yep, GG gets called. With that Solar, he will claim the series 3-0. He will be this week's PiGosaur Cup champion. GG. Oof, GG, well played. Again, herO, he did go for the lift. He was trying to kill the Overlord to open up with the supply block for Solar and to transition. For herO to fail to kill the Overlord, to have his racks floated up and not achieving anything, and to lose both Marines, that's game. That's game then and there. GG, well played. With that Solar, he will claim the series. And unfortunately, I said before that I haven't really seen herO's TVZ. That continues. I've seen plenty of herO's TVP, but not his TVZ, as we are denied that game, and Solar will claim it. GG. GG will play. Congratulations, Solar. He will claim the series. He will be this week's champion. Shout out to herO for making it to the finals. I will say that the herO versus, if you missed out on the broadcast, if you only tune into the finals and you're like, oh, it was a little bit lackluster, I recommend the VODs. Check out ByuN versus herO. ByuN versus herO was amazing. Like, that was a beautiful TVP series there. That was like the series of the broadcast was ByuN versus herO. So I do highly recommend tuning into the semis. It was much more entertaining and a much more back and forth series than the finals. But that's PVZ for you. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Solar. Shout out to herO. Shout out to ByuN for competing earlier as well in those semifinals. I literally only saw this game. Check the VODs. I recommend it. Check out the VODs over on YouTube. !YouTube in the chat. I do recommend the semis between herO and ByuN. It's a little bit obvious as to what the score was now, but really good games. Really good games, really good matches. But otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up. Here for the morning. When it comes to the rest of our schedule here, you can see our... we can head on over here to our weekly schedule. As you can see, so we just wrapped up with our morning Wednesday broadcast of PiGosaur Cup. This evening, we're going to be live with Kung Fu Cup. We have Kung Fu Cup this evening. As you can see here, we are casting some StarCraft Evolution, some SCL on Thursday and Friday. That's going to be tomorrow morning StarCraft Evolution content. If you recall, we were discussing the patches mod earlier. These are the final like StarCraft Evolution matches and tournaments that we have to cover before the off season. So as we enter the off season of SC Evo, that will leave some like broadcast slots available, and starting next week we'll be covering some patches, some of the patches mod tournaments during that time slot. So instead of StarCraft Evolution off season, we can supplement that with some patches mod. Some patches mod StarCraft. So that'll be on Thursday and Friday. We then have the podcast. The podcast is tomorrow evening. That's our weekly talk show where we talk all things StarCraft. We have Ducklings Open on Saturday and Tuna Cup on Sunday. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the morning. Again, Kung Fu Cup is going to be in around 6 hours. In around 6 hours time. So I got a couple of hours to freshen up, to get some work done, to get ready for the next cast. So the StarCraft continues, of course. Does continue with Kung Fu Cup. So do look forward to that. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. We'll see you guys in 6 hours for some Kung Fu Cup, but we'll see you tomorrow for some StarCraft Evolution. Otherwise, if you want to support us, you can do so by following us. Again, VODs are available on YouTube. You can also follow us on all the socials as well. You can also check us out on Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. We do host the Tuna Cup every single week. As you can see here, we had it last night and this weekend as well. Plenty of Tuna Cup action, and we have Ducklings Open as well on Saturday. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. Otherwise, we're going to be heading off here for the time being. Also, as a bit of a teaser of things to come, I did mention that especially with the off season of SCL, like we're gonna have a little bit of free days available or free slots available. We are going to be, or I'm going to be having a Zero Space stream. Zero Space will be on Friday. You can see we have an empty slot on Friday. We'll be streaming some Zero Space. I haven't really touched or played or know much of anything about Zero Space. I just haven't had the time. We've been just, you know, neck deep in StarCraft. So we're gonna be going through the campaign. I do already have a bit of an opinion on Zero Space, but I have very limited experience with it. So we'll be able to flesh that out a little bit, and we'll be able to get our thoughts, our feedback, of course, as well. Yeah, we'll see. We'll test it out. I never got to play Stormgate, by the way. I never had a chance, especially when Stormgate was going into its like early access and all of that. Like we were casting like 2 StarCraft tournaments a day every single day. Like I had 0 time for Stormgate, and I guess we didn't really miss out on much. I guess like it was, so I guess it kind of helped us. I don't know. But I just had no time for it. Here, as Zero Space is now coming into early access, we actually have some downtime. We actually have like less StarCraft going on, so I actually have time to you know, try it out. So that'll be on Friday. We'll see how that goes. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later on tonight for some Kung Fu Cup, or tomorrow for some StarCraft Evolution. Until then, thanks for watching. Ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego.